Okay. I need to change the. It looks like it's going to rain today. But yesterday we have a nice weather. But at the beginning, like early morning yesterday, we have the similar cloudy condition. But then, like on or before lunchtime, there was a massive change of the weather, and that was a scorching heat of the sun that we have experienced yesterday. But I don't know why it's like very gloomy today. Hopefully the sun will come out later because I need to dry those fish. So at the moment I'm going to start doing live streaming. Probably I'll change the thumbnail later. Improvise tripod that I did fix last night can hold my phone, otherwise this is going to tumble down on the ground and we will have another crack phone. Hopefully not. Okay, so our first target, we have to clean that area there. So I need to get the wheelbarrow at the back. Seems like the wheel is not turning properly. It gets stuck. Probably I need to put some oil in it to lubricate the bearing. Probably I have to do it. Oh, it seems like it's going to rain. Put the fish back to the fridge. Whether it's not stable. Okay. This will be a huge and tedious and intimidating work that we are facing right now. However, I can still use these pots to plant on some vegetables that we need to secure more cow's manure and chicken's manure. We don't have budget for that yet. So some of these pots have to stand by. I used to plant okra here or lady fingers here like back last year. That was around June, July, August. I think early on, like May. I think last summer. I planted last summer and it lasted up until, yeah, last year. We still even have these last dried fruit in here. I think the seeds are spreading here on the ground. Probably most of the seeds have been eaten by the chickens, but I think a few are still there. So when the rain comes by June this year, so we will see some seeds sprouting here on the ground. And if I still have a space where I can replant them, so probably we can do that. But I still have more spare seeds of ladyfingers there from these plants. So we have enough seeds to grow. But I think other vegetables, we only have like a few seeds to like do the seedling this summer. And I'm also targeting at least 2, 3, maximum of 4 or 5 pots in each variety of vegetable. For example, I only have to plant like 4 to 5 plants of peppers, 3, 4 plants of tomatoes, eggplants, carrots, and other vegetables that are good to be planted during summer season. So that's my target, and I already prepared several pots that are ready to be planted with vegetables, but I haven't seeded yet. So probably within this week we will start seeding, and another 2 weeks or 3 weeks of waiting, and then we can transfer those seedlings to their permanent pots. So likely beginning of May, that would be the time that I have to get back to the work as teacher, and probably that would be the beginning that we can start planting for this summer season. And likely when vegetables will be replanted, then a month after the rainy season comes. So I don't know if it is still viable. I don't know if it is in our good advantage or it would be a disadvantage to us. I don't want to waste my effort, but hopefully not. So we keep trying what we can do for best here in our garden. But of course, oh, I need to clear these shrubs, unwanted weeds, unwanted vegetations that are like invasively growing inside our garden enclosure. I need to clear this whole thing up before we can start replanting and putting the pots again that are ready to be planted with vegetables. Otherwise, we don't have any space that we can securely protect our pots and vegetables from the walking monsters here around the house. We have lots of chickens. Nobody claimed them as no like I've asked my neighbors and nobody claimed that it's theirs. So those neighbors here who are feeding those chickens so they can somehow consider themselves as owners. So like me, I'm feeding more than 30 to 40 native chickens here aside from the ones that we bought from the shop, the egg laying hens. The rest are just the native here and they're very notorious in scratching the pots, the soil in it, where they bath the soil, and of course it damages your effort, your work, the plants, the pots, the soil are scattering everywhere. So it's really a mess and yeah, a real headache. So to avoid that, we need to clear this garden enclosure inside. And once we clear this whole thing up, then we can put back all the pots that are ready to be planted. But of course, that one not alone should be left behind without putting any additional protection in each pot because you'll be wasting your time again. So aside from clearing this garden enclosure, we're also cutting those sturdy shrubs that like growing everywhere here in the house. So once I cut the branches and dried it in the sun for a week, and it hardens, and the twigs are kind of sharp. So whenever I cut it down and put it in a pot, it will protect the plants, the soil, or get rid of the chickens or from the pot. So I can show you one example of that, like what I'm doing with my um, onion chives. That one. There should be these sticks should be sticking around there so that the chickens will not be able to get in the pot and scratch the soil. So it's an additional work, but well, that's the thing that we can do to protect our vegetables. Okay. At least we're starting, right? We're starting now. Actually, there's a chicken laying eggs here in the pot inside the garden enclosure. So probably I will not remove that pot, but I will just clean the whole thing around. And then I will put cover above it so that when the rain comes, the eggs will not soak in water. Okay. What I'm going to do, okay, remove the pots. It's supposed to start trading forex now, but I'm still waiting for the 100% deposit bonus to be triggered in the XM website. So, and didn't have the amount, the total amount that I have planned to deposit. So I still have to wait another week probably. So hopefully before the end of April I can start trading, catching some big moves, and move into the month of May. Hopefully to catch more big opportunities and probably turn our small equity of 3 figures to 6 figures. That would be nice. And when that happens, I will not share any information about the progress. Just keep it to myself up until that I'm ready to leave from teaching. At the moment, just have to hang on. I guess the soil that we used to plant ladyfingers or okra here, you can reuse this for mixing with powdered eggshells and banana peelings, and then that can be ready for another sort of vegetables that we can plant right here. It's a lot of work. Alright, I have to water this down first before we're going to do some mixing later. It's better to remove everything first. Ah, good, the sun is back. I hope there will be some big chunk of clouds that are covering the sun so that I can start drying the fish. It will be a great challenge to us here because the temperature is getting hot. And probably that's beyond our tolerance. Yeah, I guess we have this. But still I can do some additional work here before I can consider the amount of sunlight is stable that we can dry our fish. So that's the time that I will stop working here and then stop a bit and then dry our fish. At the moment there are still a huge chunk of clouds up there, so I have to wait later that the sky will be cleared out with all this chunk of clouds, and then we're drying our fish. Because the weather now is very tricky. It's summer. But then, what happened last week? I was drying the first batch of fish. Now it's already dried fish. There was like good weather in the morning, and then later on, that chunk of clouds gathered, collected together, then turns dark. And there was a sudden drop of rain. So I was in a hurry. So I have to find any option that I cannot carry all those dried fish at once. So I have to find a tarp to cover the whole thing. So it is very challenging. But well, I was able to find option um, at the right moment. Yeah, it's very thick. It's very thick. I think some of the Orokan container, that blue drum, some other pots probably I need to pile them up and put in a separate place so that the facade of the house might be good looking or pleasing in the eyes of the onlookers. We'll see that if we can do it. I need to spend so much time for that, but well, I'm not trading yet, as I mentioned to you lately, so probably I still have much of my hours that I can spend outside instead of in my bed analyzing the charts. It's dark again, so we have plenty of time to continue cleaning here. Lots of seeds that are scattering on the ground. When the rain comes this month of June, it will be growing everywhere. I mean, the seeds of the weeds here. The opening of the semester, there's a competition at the same time. Well, that can be so laborious. I hope my student for impromptu speech this semester will not be as idiot as in the past. Some of them are good, but there were two chances in the lower level. Time 3, first one, that was not really kind of asshole, but the last one from my team 1 now turned into my team 2. It's an extremely headache for me. So I need to find responsible student this semester for the impromptu speech. For a longer time, like 2 or 3 semesters already, the lower level for impromptu speech, we're not able to get gold because I've been into idiot students. But for higher, it's all nice and good. Gold, top 12, champion, something like top 4. Very competitive in that level, but the students that I had was also grinding hard, cooperating with our practice, listening to my instructions, we had good results. But the lower level, in the past 2 semesters, it's worse. Actually, the first one, it's a little bit good, silver. But the last semester, not even bronze, just a participant. And what I really hated more, not even teachable. I've been instructing, providing stuff what to do. That kid was very egoistic. Yeah, yeah, I knew all of those. But then in the actual competition, she could not say a word probably. Most of the teachers were amazed of her intelligence during the practice. But at the final day during competition day, probably she could not even answer the question. Idiot. Not listening to my instructions and very arrogant, saying that she knew all of that. Really? I'm just waiting if that kid will come back. Do some tryout again in my category. Probably I will tell her. I think you need to find another category this time because you have tried and you failed. So what for? You don't have to redeem your image because you don't have your own image. You don't have your own good image in the first place. So don't waste your time and don't waste my time. Probably that would be the good logic I could tell. Hopefully there will be good ones for Matilda this year. Hopefully there will be one or two that might be interested for impromptu speech from Matain 3 now. My Matain 2 last year. So it's the kind of thing I'm considering. I think we have 4 eggs right now. Yeah, we got 4 eggs already. So likely I have to start removing these rods here, these vines, and then I'm going to remove these vines so that I can cover something above on it to act as a roof to protect the eggs from the rain. We'll do that. Well, we just started, but it looks really good. You are clean. We have to cover the eggs first. Okay. clear there. Okay. If I use straw to tie this up, it can only last us like a few to several months, and then it rots. Now, loosening it. So probably I will use this kind of rope, like um, polyester material. I'm not sure yet. It's in the 20 baht shop. One roll of it for like 5 meters long for 20 baht. I think that's the kind of it's a type of rope that I'm going to use to like tighten these screen that protects our garden enclosure. Well, of course, the native chickens can fly over this garden enclosure, and that's why we have to add more protection in each individual parts. That twigs that I mentioned to you, we put it there so that they don't have any space to get in the pot and scratch. It will be a long week for us to cleaning this area here. These vines here, so terrible. think my phone is running out of battery, YouTube friends. So probably I can show you again later. I have to recharge my phone. But as long as we still don't have that sun, then we can continue our cleaning schedule here. So I can show you back later. Once the phone dies out because the battery is running low. Huh. These vines are confidently growing right into the pots. That's why they're very healthy. They're sucking all the nutrients there. It's time to remove them. It's time to remove these suckers. Uh, okay. Yeah. From the sun. Oh. Ah. Another dark cloud coming. Looks like we can't dry our fish today. I think we have stable sunlight now. Look at that difference. Just a small portion of the space that we were able to clean out those vines. And look at the heaps of vines we have collected. Look at that. And we'll continue working there. This side. I've got to remove the pots that are blocking our way. Probably we have good sunshine now, so we will dry our fish. So I'll come back later. See you.